Okay. And yeah, okay. Getting background noise. What about now? Yeah, you're hearing my fans. It's picking up everything. I can fix the mic problem. Testing. 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 What about now? About now? Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Okay. It's all this NVIDIA noise removal and room echo removal that has seemed to be giving me issues. If I remove it, like completely, this is what we get. that's not bad. Yeah, today has been nothing but technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad. I'm not for sure exactly how it sounds, if it seems kind of hollow. Yeah, we've been dealing with fraudulent charges. Fraudulent Twitch charges, to be exact. So, yeah, we've noticed it over the weekend, actually. And anybody who deals with Twitch, like if you're on Twitch, you can look the amount of gifted subs. So if somebody says gifted subs in your Twitch, for somebody who living in America, it goes from I think like 25 at 5 to 49 something at 50 or 10. Yeah, something like that. We had a charge of like $39.90 for Twitch services, sub services. Now, if I do any kind of gifted subs myself, and I explain this to the bank, I normally go through my PayPal. Everything on Twitch goes through my PayPal. So, and then we've had fraudulent charges from Amazon. We had a thing from New York Times. I've never dealt with New York Times. Doing some research, I actually found out that it is something that happens. It's been documented, actually, that people will launder money through Twitch. So it's like probably has something to do with the little bots or something that comes into stream, or what we normally call bots. It comes into stream about you want to buy followers or buy subs. And it's, I guess what they do is they'll go through and like find card numbers. You know, apparently there's this situation. I do, and that's what really throws, like, really seems to be strange. It doesn't seem to be on my account. That's the thing. It was just using my card. I was talking to the lady at the bank, and what ends up happening is kind of like they randomly generate lottery numbers. There's apparently programs out there where they will randomly generate card numbers, and they'll do like this little testing transaction. You might see something on your account that says like $1 or $1.20 or something was added to the account and then extracted. That is testing to see if it's a legitimate account. And once they get that information that it is definitely a legitimate account, then now they'll start doing the bigger charges. So it's been one thing after another. I ended up calling the attorney's office, because, you know, my court date went good, actually. That is kind of a praise, and the fact that over $4,000 of this charge was cut out. It went from like $9,000 to $5,100, $5,200. But I called to ask about the hold, and apparently the hold is going to be can be up to 3 weeks for it to be released. So we have like $200 and some just sitting in limbo right now. It's been these past 2 weeks, and I don't want to get up here and like complain as well as me or anything like that. You know, I'm gonna keep on keeping on, but it's been fun to say the least. Background is the background music, the 8-bit sound, or like the little 8-bit music in the background. Is that playing? Can y'all hear that? Yo, what's up, Sonic? Okay, you were talking about the entire stream audio went down, so I was just double checking. Sonic's coming in and is like, "Hi, everybody." I need to actually set that up. That could be something that I could do really quick. Dude, Dr. Nick from The Simpsons.
Thank you, Toy. Hi, everybody. Now,
Dr. Nick Riviera.
thank you, Toy. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Hi, everybody.
You're right there. I'd have to actually cut it, though. Mama Dreams is like... Let's see here. So, we go to blurps. That's what I'll do. I'll go to blurps. Blurps. Not bleps, blurps. Go here. Hold on. Okay. My streams. Where is it? Wow, there's a lot of people on here. Here, I don't want to call on any lurkers, so I'll go over here this way.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. Now all you got to do is go in there and actually approve it, Sonic. What was a Spurgeon? This was actually Spurgeon's sermon, 2803. Somewhere, yeah, sermon 2803. Was looking through some of the things is where the Spurgeon was originally. It looks like Spurgeon had the don't get me wrong, it was like everybody talks about Spurgeon, everybody likes Spurgeon. One of the ideas that Spurgeon gave in this sermon was the idea that God turned his face. What do you mean to approve it? So you would actually to approve the Austri Whoa JTI. What is going on? Welcome in. This is Yo Min. Thus is Poland. Oh, welcome in. Zakalek Gaming, thank you for joining.
Zakalek Gaming is now following.
Dinosaur with 1,000 teeth. Interesting. Seen on Google, huh? I don't know if I'm picking up background noise on this or not. My stepson's in the background talking. Yep. Alright, let me get the door closed. Go. What's up, you from USC? Yes, I am from the USA. This and what's on screen is not the Bible. This is actually a sermon from Charles Spurgeon. Jeremiah was asking about it. But as I said, to answer Jeremiah, Spurgeon in this sermon gave the idea that God turned his face from Christ while he was on the cross. I am central U.S. Indiana, to be specific, yes. But as I said, Jeremiah, Spurgeon gave the idea that God turned his face from Christ. And with what I was working with on the devotional for the taco event this Friday, I was kind of going against this, that God didn't necessarily turn his face from Christ. And reading through Spurgeon's sermon, he doesn't necessarily claim that it was God turned away. The way that Spurgeon specifically expounds it is that it was Christ had to experience the lack of God's. It's the word I'm looking for. It was right here, actually. Right, is what was this forsaking? Was it physical weakness? Some of you know that when the body is in a low condition, the soul also sinks quite involuntarily. Unhappiness of the mind, depression of the spirit, sorrow of the heart will come upon you. You may be well within any reason for grief, and yet may be among the most unhappy of men, because for the time your body has conquered your soul. My brethren and sisters, this explanation is not supposable in the case of Christ, for it is not many moments after this he shouted with a loud, his conquering cry is finished. So pass from conflict to his coronation. The brave spirit overcame physical weakness. So it's not necessarily the idea, and Charles kind of agrees to this, that it wasn't necessarily the idea that God literally turned away from Christ. It was that in the torment of the cross, Christ felt that anguish of the soul of being separated from God through sin. It's an interesting concept, and one of the things that I was specifically saying is, far be it from me to say that Spurgeon was wrong, but it seems that when looking at the cross, in light of the passages in Isaiah 53:10 specifically, it seems that there was this idea that Christ had to go through a serious ordeal that was far more than the physical pain and the physical torment, the physical suffering of the cross. There was a spiritual suffering as well, if that makes any sense. And I was trying to get a parallel from that. It's hard for me to know what you mean by God didn't literally turn from God. God isn't a body, he should literally turn around. So how are you distinguishing by God literally and not literally turning from Christ? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's really this idea of doublespeak, and I'm still struggling in how to put this in light of what Spurgeon wrote and in light of this message of Spurgeon, because I've heard this preached before about the cross, is that the idea that God turned his back on Christ during the during the episode of the cross, that the weight of sin that was placed on Christ, God could not stand sin. And this is what I've been heard preached before. The weight of sin that was placed on Christ and the amount of sin that was placed on Christ, God cannot stand sin, so God turned his face away from Christ. That is kind of what Charles Spurgeon is saying here. That's kind of what I've heard preached before. But my own exhortation is the idea of Isaiah 53, that it was the Lord's will to crush him. And if you're struggling to understand the words, it's because I'm struggling to put it into words. This would be more of a deeper conversation as I'm preparing to give this devotional for Taco. And the idea...
What kind of place is this?
Right. And Mama Dreams is probably like, my head hurts. Now we're having bitrate problems. I can see the stream starting to mess up. Technical difficulties. It's been... If you would like to discuss this further, we can do so in Discord. It's hard, again, it's hard for me to put into words, since I'm trying to struggle with, dealing with all, yeah. Why is this such a pain? Or why is this being such a pain? Has been. For the past couple of weeks, I've been dealing with what would be considered, some could say, as spiritual warfare. So, treasured and loved, thank you for coming in. How are you doing today? Surprisingly, getting a lot of traffic. I didn't expect that my stream title would be that interesting, especially in the Just Chatting stream. Hold on. Maybe that's better. Not really, but it's a little bit better. I'm in the green. Isn't that good that it shouldn't, especially during Holy Week? Treasured and loves, if we're not fighting spiritually every day, then we are not doing our part. That's one way to put it. It's just getting to the point that, like, I'm starting to feel frustrated, and I don't want to be the one to complain. It's one thing after another, and I'm starting to get over it. I don't know if that's going to do anything or not. Poppertot, so about Holy Week. If Jesus was crucified on Passover, why are we celebrating Easter a month before Passover? Yeah, that's actually a really good question. From what I understand, is the way that Easter is determined is it is exactly 1 week after the first full moon after the spring equinox. Because the first full moon was actually this weekend, then there is that. Is the idea that that the Gregorian calendar that we use does not completely line up with the Jewish calendar. Treasured and Love says, "Dear brother, I understand your frustration. I pray God will give you peace and calm your frustration." Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Blanca says, "We actually do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday services this week. I believe my pastor said that Thursday will be what was in that cup as the message title." Very nice. I like that. And what do bunnies and eggs have to do with Jesus dying on the cross? Ooh, that's actually a really good question. That's a really good question. We can we can actually do a search on that. What does the rabbit have to do with Easter? Now, there's a lot of different things that you're going to end up dealing with. Okay. If we go to history.com, yeah, it's going to say Easter traditions and symbols evolved over time, though some have been for centuries. While Christians, Easter is a celebration of the resurrection of Christ. Many Easter traditions not found in the Bible. That's what history.com. Didn't you say that's what your title is? Yes.
You want to see God move, and you will not be satisfied. You will not be happy. You'll take hold of the horns of the altar and say, give me this thing, give me souls or I die. You preach as a dying man to dying men, and you preach as though you will never preach again.
So, Easter Bunny. This, of course, we're going to Wikipedia. Is like I don't see any problem with Wikipedia. Wait, is that? I believe it might be, because Tristan loves following. Okay. Okay, so... I also want to apologize that it disappeared from your life the way it did. Previously, I was... Okay. You were both so loving and kind that I shunned because you wouldn't turn from your convictions and affirm me. I was lost. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. There is no need to apologize. I just want to place that in there. There's no need to apologize. I understand. Like, yeah, in that idea, as we've talked multiple times, is I can understand where it's coming from. I can understand the dealing. Wait, we don't hear you anymore. It's saying that it's picking it up. Testing? Yeah, I can hear it. I'm saying that I'm showing that it's actually coming through, Jeremiah. Hear you now, but you're cutting in and out. It's because this kilobytes per second, because this is... That's exactly what it is. It's the connections... Hold on. Let's see if that does anything. I think it just might be the fact that my connection sucks right now. And that's just going to show everything. It's like, okay, so hopefully I can get this out. Yeah, Popper's got it. Everything's totally... hopefully I can get this out. So, as I was saying, there is no apology necessary. I can understand where that comes from. And I kind of was talking about that. I'm glad. Yeah, we've been praying. Know that I'll still deal with gender dysphoria, but I know that it is a feeling that I can't follow or give strength to. Exactly. Really? Last time I tried this, Ninja was suggesting all of these things and nothing worked. Let's try that. I put the video bit rate down really, really low. I put the audio bit rate down really, really low. And let's see if that helps. So, what I was saying is I can understand dealing with it. There's been, honestly, I think that there's a lot of idea of gender roles, and we've been putting too much emphasis on when you put the bit right down low, the video became clear. That's because now my kilobytes per second is like through the roof. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. This idea of what a quote unquote man is supposed to be. I think that we put too much emphasis on it. It's like, what's wrong with a man baking? If a man likes to bake, a man likes to bake. If a man likes to clean, a man likes to clean. If a man likes to cook, a man likes to cook. It's... And the fact that we're saying is, no, that's a woman's role, and that's what a woman has to do. You're like the person who says that a woman is supposed to be the one that cleans, a woman is supposed to be the one that cooks, a woman is supposed to be doing all that. Let's say, for instance, let's take Andrew Tate, is nothing but a sexist. I'm a guy. I like to cook. In fact, my wife will tell you I'm a better cook than she is. So, it's, I don't know, anyway, I'm glad that you're actually, I've been praying, and there is, as I said, there's no apology necessary. And I'll leave it at that. We're here, we will be here, any kind of support, any kind of help, community is always open and will always be open. I'm very glad that you're working through this. Very glad that you're working through this. What is it? Dr. Tony Evans. If you look up Dr. Tony Evans on being a kingly man, it's very, very good. A very good series. I've been hearing some of it on the radio as I've been driving. Can't even imagine the pain I've put people through. It hurts me a lot. But all I can do is keep praying, getting closer to God. Just show God's love. If he's been taught about God, do the best you can to keep him close to God's word without breaking your own conviction. I don't know what he struggles with, but you can't go wrong with God's love. I think this is in response to what Popper was saying. Popper says, treasured and loved, I hope my son finds his way quickly. It breaks my heart to see him doing what he's doing. I actually, my daughter is kind of going through, not necessarily that issue in its entirety, but she's trying to make sense of everything. She's actually seeing somebody who's on the other side of the spectrum. She's dating a young girl that is presenting as a male. I wish Donnie would do more around the house. I do stuff around the house. And the thing is every single time that I do is like, if I fold laundry or if I throw laundry in the washer, it's, you're doing it wrong. Poppers, I do the laundry and vacuum the house. My wife appreciates my doing so. I don't feel my masculinity is in danger. In fact, doing so, I find I love my wife even more because those things I do for her so she doesn't have to. Yeah, the big thing is with laundry is every single time that I do laundry, I'm told that I'm not doing it right. One of the things that I need to do, I really need to start working on, is I've got to, our sink, our kitchen sink is like totally messed up. The little rings around the drain, both have popped up. The entire plumbing underneath, it seems to like shift and like pull. We've had it pop out a couple of times, so I need to start putting some money back to completely redo the plumbing underneath our kitchen sink. That's going to be fun. But I probably am not. I'll be honest, I'm probably not. I don't worry about separating anything. I don't like, especially not colors. The way I do it, the way I see it is I throw everything into the washer. It's like it'll get washed. Children Love Done Dreams, I definitely try to drop in from time to time. I've grown really close to another stream community and they will be holding me accountable. I've heard that. I think maybe Assassinator Steph, and Steph is awesome. I've been in Steph's chat more than a couple of times. Steph is awesome, and I'm glad that you found a community that you've enjoyed. Looks like we got a ad break popping up. Frosty Tools. Meanwhile, let's jump on chat. Chat has been a whirlwind of Holy Week reflections with prayers for better days. Children Love found their way back, seeking forgiveness and embracing God's love. Tech Gremlins have Jeremiah Parker hearing ghosts, while Poppersnot pondered the mysteries of Easter bunnies. Mama Dreams called for more help around the house. Looking at you, Dottie Dreams. Etta Wild Dracklock escaped capture in Twitch chat. Mama Dreams as he's not. I told him I like my work shucks hung up, and Donnie questions me why. I mean, I don't see the part. It's like, it's an extra step. Just throw it all in the dryer. Treasure and love, thanks. I had numerous people at church tell me that I need to give him to God care. I still do what I can to show him. I love him in ways that it doesn't bring God overtly out, as he has turned his back on God. Actually, I completely feel that one too, Bobber. My youngest son, yeah, he's been dealing with issues where your love is so strong and so gentle. The only difference is they didn't know my gender, so I could be Brooklyn there. Yeah, you said that they shrink, and it's like I didn't see the point. It's like, instead of, like, for instance, if I was worried about this shirt shrinking, I got a 4X for that reason. Yeah, I'm wearing a 4X for that reason, is I don't have to worry about it shrinking. It shrink all it's want, and it'd still probably be baggy on me. Bobbers, a couple of months ago, my church started a community group for parents of prodigals, and has confirmed everything that God has been showing me. Ooh, I like that one. Is actually hung up to dry, Blanco. It's like hung up to dry, not hung up after drying. That would be a really good one. Actually, if you would be able to send me any of that information, Popper, I'd like some of that too. And we've completely got off the idea of the Easter Bunny, as we were going to look at that. So, back to what we did and what we pulled up on Wikipedia here. The Easter Bunny, also called the Easter Rabbit or Easter Hare, is a folkloric figure and symbol of Easter depicted as a rabbit. Ads went and I was gone for 3 minutes. What did you guys say? Basically, is there Mama Dreams is just ribbing me. Blanco's gotcha. We actually have a bar above the washer dryer to hang clothes on. Not like we use it much, but it's there. I'm glad his love is so gentle and so strong to somebody. Aegis, I thought you were going to ask for information about laundry. I mean, I would say that I'm pretty gentle when my wife doesn't get on to me about the laundry. That helps. Yeah, that helps immensely. Is I might be willing to do it if I didn't get chewed out every single time. I also realized that I did not record, so the only capture that I'm going to have of this stream is when the capture where bitrate is all that. I will actually agree with that. And Mama Dreams does get the worst of me. She sees the nitty gritty. She sees the frustration. She sees she sees how when things are bad. And I would say that actually, that speaks to our marriage. My wife has said a few times that, I wish I could get the cheery Donnie. I wish I could get the Donnie that I see on stream. I try to be completely real on here. I try to be completely open, completely honest, completely sincere. But I don't think that I've shown the worst parts. When she's made the comment that I cancel. It's those days that I'm feeling down. It's those days that I'm feeling out. It's those days that I'm feeling frustrated. I can be, pardon my French, and somebody want to call out language, yeah, I'm right there, but I can be an asshole. Hell, heck, I can be the whole ass. But this woman is stuck behind me and stuck beside me through thick and thin. She has not given up on me. She's seen me at the lowest of lows. And she's been beside me.
Language.
Yeah. Now, I know, Blanco. I know. yeah. But my wife is amazing. And I don't think that I tell her that enough. Yeah, Blanco's, we had the discussion about the rooster yet. Yeah, Blanco's got a rooster that's he believes in a certain pecking order, let's put it that way. But I still say next year, so February 3rd of next year is me and my wife's 10-year wedding anniversary. And I know that that's a long time. But I'm hoping that we can get all of these debts figured out and we can finally get out of the hole. I can actually start getting some money back. I would love to do something special. Like, I would love to be able to take her out. We've kind of had a honeymoon. Not really. Her engagement ring is currently broken, and we need to get that fixed. Is the idea of renewing our vows. That would be cool. No. Yeah, I will say no. I don't want to go to Disney. From what I've heard about Disney is nothing but lines and parades and people. I think I'll pass. Now, if you want to go down to Florida and like go to the beach and do some deep sea fishing and all of that stuff, that would be cool. I'd be down with that. But Disney World, no thank you. No thank you. I would have gone to Disney about 10 years ago. Now it's, yeah, that's another reason is no thank you on the Disney. Yeah. Like I would definitely be down to go to Florida. It's like we go down to Florida, we can meet up with Maria Ukulele, do like go to the beach. Mama Dreams has actually only seen the beach once, It's when we went down to pick up my youngest son. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really cool. EG is, I want to go to Hollywood. Dollywood maybe. That would be cool. I don't know about Hollywood though. All right. The Popper says, I concur about Disney World. Disney Works 35% capacity was awesome. They got to ride all the rides with only 30-minute lines, but it was during the Chinese Death Plague. As long as they actually want to come up near where you all live. That place seems cool. We could go figuratively and literally on that one. Is that Alaska seems cool. Okay, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll stop. I'll stop. Dollywood could be interesting. He's like Nashville. Nashville itself would be cool. Alaska is also dark half the year. Is it half the year? I don't know if it's necessarily half the year. I think they end up getting longer nights toward the winter months. But it doesn't go like fully dark for 6 months. Maybe depending on how north you are. Nashville is pretty cool, but downtown it's a constant party. It's actually the #1 city for bachelorette parties. I did not know that. Treasure Love, I'm going to lurk. Just want to know, despite that I did disappear from here, the talks I had was an important part of my journey for Jesus. The seeds were planted and know that they're growing. God bless. Keep spreading the good news. And you know what? Thank you. That actually, that's amazing. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for coming back into chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part. And thank you for, just thank you for everything. I don't know what else to say. Just thank you for, that confirms me. That tells me that I'm doing something. That I'm, So, but enjoy the lurk. Thank you for being here. I'm going to quit because I'm just going to keep on rambling. Poppers, I was being facetious. Mama Dreams is Donnie drove straight through the last time we went to Florida, then drove straight home with sunburnt feet, no shoes, 13 hours. Oh yeah, the last time we were, that's a story. So the last time we were in Florida, we were walking the beach, and I guess what it is the fact that it's actually hot, and the wind is, you really don't think, with that the ocean breeze coming, you don't necessarily think of how much you're sweating. I'll be honest, I had a drink during lunch. We went to a place and I got a couple pina coladas. Didn't think about it. Hadn't had anything to drink. And then we walked back across the beach to sit down for dinner. As we sat down for dinner, all of a sudden I got completely lightheaded, almost passed out. And it scared her. It scared me. I guess if we go back, I need to pace myself a little bit more. Sonic is saying, nope, New York's better. Blanca is straight through. I guess if you don't have kids with you, we can pull that off. I only stopped twice on our trip in 2020. We had kids, actually. It was the fact that I told the kids straight up, it's like, if you need to use the bathroom, if I stop for gas, make sure you get out and use the bathroom. If I don't stop for gas, don't tell me anything. Yeah, if I make it, it's going to be a situation, if you have to, you're going to use the window. Yeah, young kids, that's the thing. The kids, I think the youngest kid was my youngest son, coming back. He was 7 at the time. Peyton and Colton were like, I think 10 and 12. Something like that. If we do it this time, though, it'd probably, like, the boys are old enough that they can stay by themselves, and we'll just go down there. It's just be me and her. And we could actually stay longer than a day, because we were only down there for a day. Alright, let's get in here. I know Popper Snot was asking about Easter bunnies. Jeremiah said something about Easter bunnies. And the eggs. And so let's look into this. Let's actually look at this, because a lot of the times, this is actually something that's very kind of close to my heart. I'm going by myself. I mean, is it like just Mama Dreams? Is like Mama Dreams going to Florida without me? Is that what we're talking about? So this is something that I personally like. I wouldn't necessarily personally like. It's the idea that these traditions are pagan, that these traditions are inspired by pagan rituals, is actually completely unfounded. Many people use a verse in Jeremiah about taking out a tree and decorating it with gold and silver to speak about the Christmas tree. To answer that, that's not the case. It has nothing to do with the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree was, the verse in Jeremiah was specifically speaking about an Asherah pole, because Christmas tree is just chopped down and then tinsel was added to it, and balls are like the decorative balls and ornaments are set on it. The tree that is chopped down, worked by a craftsman, and then decorated in gold and silver, yeah, it's talking about an Asherah pole. It does not have anything to do with Christmas. Halloween was originally All Hallows Eve. It does not have anything to do with the idea of pagan worship and Germanic traditions, because at the point in time when the Celtic Church was really a thing, this would be during the time of the other one that we just got celebrating, is St. Patrick, and dealing with the Celtic tribes. At that point in time, All Saints' Day was actually celebrated in April. Yes, that is a song by John Denver, I believe. I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know where I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. Okay, so let's get into this and let's discuss this. We're talking about the Easter Bunny in particular. Many people is the alleged association with Easter. We'll get to that. So Easter Bunny, also called the Easter Rabbit or Easter Hare, is a folkloric figure and symbol of Easter depicted as a rabbit, sometimes dressed with clothes, bringing Easter eggs. originating. So the Easter bunny, the Easter hare, actually originated with German Lutherans. The Easter hare originally played the role of judge, evaluating whether children were good or disobedient in behavior at the start of Easter tide, or Paschal tide. It's a festal season of the liturgical year Christianity that focuses on the celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is like, it's right after Lent. It begins on Easter Sunday, which initiates Easter week in Western Christianity and Bright Week in Eastern Christianity. This is similar, so the Easter Bunny is actually similar to the Naughty and Nice list by Santa Claus. Jeremiah says that as far as lights on the Christmas tree, is said that Martin Luther, looking at the starry sky, thought about how Christ descended from the heavens down to earth. So he decided to put candles on Christmas trees to represent Christ's condensation from on high. Christmas trees are primarily Christian tradition from Germany, despite what some people would say. Well, as we can see, actually, the Easter hare is also a Christian tradition from Germany. Specifically, again, Martin Luther. We'll get to that. Part of the legend, the creature carried colored eggs in a basket, as well as candy, sometimes toys, to the homes of children. As such, Easter Bunny again shows similarities to Santa or the Christkind. Christkind, also called Christkindl, is a traditional Christmas gift bearer in Austria, Switzerland, southern western Germany, Czech Republic, Croatia, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, and the eastern part of Belgium. So this is Germanic areas. The Easter Bunny is a gift giver. Christmas is bringing gifts to children on the night before the holiday. The custom was first mentioned in George Frank van Frankneus' Du Eves Paschablis. I don't know if I'm about Easter eggs. In 1682, referring to the German tradition of a Easter hare bringing eggs for children. The hare was a popular motif in medieval Christian art. Ancient times, it was widely believed, as by Pliny, Plutarch, Plaustrus, and Aelian, that the hare was a hermaphrodite. The idea that a hare could reproduce without the loss of virginity, associated to an association to the Virgin Mary. So hares sometimes occurring in illuminated manuscripts, Northern European paintings of Virgin and Christ child, also have been associated with the Holy Trinity, as in the three hares motif. What is going on, King, by the way? Thanks for coming in. So, eggs. Scholars often posit that eggs have been used as fertility symbols since antiquity. Eggs became a symbol in Christianity associated with rebirth as early as the 1st century AD via the iconography of the phoenix egg. So now we're going into Phoenix. And they became associated with Easter specifically in medieval Europe when eating them was prohibited during the fast of Lent. So why eggs? Why did the Easter egg bring eggs? Well, eggs was probably a staple in many peasant diets. You know, chickens were a thing. Blanco actually has some chickens we were talking about. So the idea that, you know, you have these eggs that you haven't been eating. Well, one of the things that you could do, especially in those situations, is those eggs that you were collecting during the Lent when you couldn't eat them, you could have found a way to hard boil them and maybe save them or something. I'm spitballing here. That could also be where the rotten egg and the rotten Easter egg comes from. I don't know. The common practice in England at the time was for children to go door to door begging for eggs on the Saturday before Lent began. People handed out eggs as special treats for children prior to their fast. And this is actually coming from De Costa Crystal, Beyond Ishtar, the tradition of Easter, the tradition of eggs at Easter. So De Costa Crystal. So as a special dish, eggs would have been decorated as part of the Easter celebration. Later, German Protestants retained the custom of eating color eggs for Easter, though they did not continue the tradition of fasting. Eggs boiled with some flowers changed their color, bringing the spring into homes, and some over time added the custom of decorating the eggs. Many Christians of the Eastern Orthodox Church to this day typically dye their Easter eggs red, the color of blood, in recognition of the blood of the sacrifice Christ and the renewal of life in springtime. Some also use the color green in honor of the new foliage emerging after a long dead time of winter. The Ukrainian art of decorating eggs, known as Paskansky, dates to the ancient pre-Christian times. So, one here, we have a Ukrainian art of decorating eggs that does date to an ancient pre-Christian time, but for the most part, many of these traditions that we are quick to say, these are pagan traditions, many of these traditions have existed in Christian culture and Christian Christian tradition since antiquity. Yeah, this is going back to German Lutherans and Eastern Orthodox Church. The idea of all of these things being pagan, many of these traditions can actually, or many of these ideas can actually be traced back to the Jehovah's Witness Church. Because I mean, that was actually really good. It was the Jehovah's Witness Church, and this is evil. What up, cool people? Blanco says, well, I wasn't for sure which denomination you were, but I knew you mentioned some terminology that I've heard from some Lutherans I know. I'm not super familiar with Presbyterians, though. You're pretty similar in a lot of the aspects, is which why we usually get along with each other and speak well of each other. I honestly really like. I did actually see that. I love Lutheranism, by the way. It's a favorite Christian tradition besides my own. I also think it's awesome for a lot of reasons. Yeah, I did catch that, actually. Sorry I didn't respond to that. Blanco's, I mean, I was thinking Light of the World, so same sentiment. Okay, yeah. You know my position. My position is a denomination gets into a lot of problems.
That is not true.
It can. It is like when people start talking about denominations, we get into some. So I'm not in panic mode today, so I can watch more. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you're feeling better, Conroy. I wouldn't necessarily have a position on Lutheranism. I wouldn't have necessarily a position on Presbyterianism. I know that there are many different things that various denominations will get hung up about. And Poppersnot would love to hang out for the rest of the conversation, but I didn't sleep last night. Thanks for... I'm assuming thanks for the stream. I'm glad you're in a better place than you were last. I appreciate that, Popper. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. God bless you. Get yourself some sleep. And we will definitely... I'll be on here tomorrow. Hopefully, might be able to figure something out. But thanks for being here, Popper. I appreciate it. Yep, don't forget !sleep in chat. And that should that'll give you the lovely Final Fantasy thing. I'm not nearly as cool as Jake. I'm not nearly as cool as Jake, so I don't even know why I try to be. Lutherans like to make fun of Presbyterians in a kind of way. Probably, I'm going to need to. Blanco says, as long as they believe the true gospel, I don't have a problem with any other denomination. It's just some of those traditions, etc., that separate us. Yeah. And it's, I would say that's true of a lot of different ones. We could we could get into discussion of Catholicism and there could be a lot of discussion. That could be, I don't want to dwell on that though. My stance, especially as a streamer, and what I have to be as a streamer, to make it, it's essentially, I'm trying to break it down to as simple as possible. Following the things of Paul, and Paul dealing with various things that he dealt with. I claim to know nothing. I know nothing but Christ and Him crucified, and that could be a problem. There are some people that may consider that a problem. I know that I may end up coming against something sooner or later. But if I get really stuck on certain semantics, certain traditions, I could probably essentially be shooting myself in the foot for my own mission. So that's why I try to stray away from the big, denominational and doctrinal discussions on stream. That's why I do push more of these doctrinal or whatever the word is, discussions toward the Discord. Now, I will stand behind, this is what we're seeing here. One of the biggest proponents of this idea that Easter is pagan is the Jehovah's Witness Church. Jehovah's Witness Church, I'll be very blunt about that one. Jehovah's Witness Church is what Jeremiah would call Arianism. They do not claim that Christ was God. They do not believe in the Trinity as we understand it. However, there is a passage, even in Revelation, that speaks to it, and even on their own book, this New World Translation, you can find by JehovahWitness.org. There's a passage in Revelation that speaks to the Lamb being worthy, and that the Lamb was not created. So when we take that passage from their own book and put it to what the other passages say in the tested translations, to quote Samoan, Sam, we'll just call him Sam. I posted a couple of things.
No, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm not stopping. I'll even pull it up if I need to be. Bring me a taco, right? But that idea that the Lamb and Christ, or that Christ is not God, that Christ was created, it's it's problematic. And you could actually, you can use that passage in Revelation to quote Samouin, Samouyin, I think. You can use that passage to bury them. Athanasian Creed is my favorite Trinitarian creed the church has devised. It deals with pretty much all the Trinitarian errors you could plausibly make. I'll have to check that out. If it's not too long, or if you have a link to that, Jeremiah, please send it to me. Make it a Taco John's? Is there Taco John's? I'm not for sure if I know that. Okay. Alright, I'll definitely do that. So back into this is talking about King and asked why eggs. We were talking the special dish eggs would have probably been decorated as part of Easter celebration, because eggs were something that was traditionally given up during the fast of Lent. The idea of egg giving, or the idea of the egg giving hare, went to the U.S. in the 18th century. Protestant German immigrants in the Pennsylvania Dutch area told their children about the Osterhaas, sometimes spelled Osterhaas, Haas meaning hare, not rabbit. And Northwest European folklore, the Easter bunny indeed is a hare. According to the legend, only good children received gifts of colored eggs in the nest that they made in their caps and bonnets before Easter. So, the alleged association with Easter. This is where coming up with the idea that it is of pagan origin. In a publication from 1874, German philologist Adolf Hautzmann stated the Easter hare is unintelligible to me, but probably the hare was sacred animal of Ostara. This is so the idea that it is of pagan origin comes from 1874 by a German philologist, Adolf Hautzmann. And this is where this has come from. A connection between Easter and the goddess has been made by Jacob Grimm. Jacob Ludwig Karl Grimm, also known as Ludwig Karl, is a German author, linguist, philologist, jurist, and folklorist. Formulated Grimm's Law of Linguistics and was co-author of the Deutsches Wunderbuch, author of the and editor of Grimm's Fairy Tales. Okay. This proposed association was repeated by other authors, including Charles Isaac Elton, Charles J. Bilson, and Christina Hole. The hare was the sacred beast of Eostre, the Saxon goddess of spring and dawn. Belief that Eostre had a hare companion who became the Easter Bunny was popularized and was present as fact in a BBC documentary, The Shadow of the Hare, in 1993. So, Oxford Dictionary of English Folklore, however, states nowadays many writers claim the hares were sacred to the Anglo-Saxon goddess Eostre, but there is no shred of evidence for this. Bidet, the only writer to mention Eostre, does not link her with any animal. We go to C24. This is Jacqueline Simpson, Steve Rode, 2003, Dictionary of English Folklore by Oxford University Press. And that's the ISBN number. So, a lot of people want to claim to this is because there has been a couple of people that have regurgitated this. But we can see here that there is no shred of evidence for this. A legend is often encountered in contemporary times. Eostre freed a frozen bird from a tree branch by turning it into a hare. It still continued to lay eggs, but have no use for them anymore, and gratitude to the goddess gave them away. This has no basis in any authentic pre-Christian folklore. myth, or religion, and only appears to date from 1883, first published by K. R. Oberlehr in a book in German, and later quoted by H. Krebs in a notes section in the journal Folklore, also in 1883. His quote as follows: "Some time ago, the question was raised how it came that, according to South German still prevailing folklore, the hare is believed by children to lay Easter eggs. I venture now to offer a probable answer to it. Originally, the hare seems to have been a bird which the ancient Teutonic goddess Ostara, the Anglo-Saxon Easter, or Eoster, as Bede calls her, transforms into a quadruped. For this reason, the hare, in grateful recollection of formal quality of bird of Swiss majesty or the spring goddess, able to lay eggs on her festival of Easter time." So this is the only quote that even goes into this, and this is from 1883. So one of the things that we see, and as said, a lot of this stuff comes from Jehovah's Witness Church. Jehovah's Witness Church actually came from the movement of Walter Miller in 1845. And as the Jehovah's Witness Church is growing, they're looking for a way to, I'd be a little confused too. This can be kind of confusing. Jeremiah, speaking of Germany, this is off topic. There's a German theologian I've been trying to figure out about named Karl Barth, who wrote a theological treatise that is against all odds, longer than St. Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologica. It's 14 volumes and is 6 million words long. He stopped writing it before writing the final volume. It takes up an entire shelf. Wow. Yeah, you got to get. It looks like you're out of Pokeballs, probably. No, you're fine. Don't get me started on the writings of E.G. White. If you wanted to get those, that would take up an entire library. So, I'm not necessarily saying that about Karl Barth. One word. Pokeshop. Pokeshop is one. Yeah, Blanco's got it. So, the idea of Easter being pagan, a lot of the stuff that we see about the Easter traditions being influenced by a pagan religion really didn't start until the 1800s. And we can see there's a lot of stuff that ended up happening in the 1800s. I think probably we could even point to what ended up happening with Walter Miller as being kind of the start of that. If anybody is unfamiliar, Walter Miller was a person who claimed that they had figured out when Jesus was coming back. And probably not the first one. The Bible itself says that there will be many false prophets that will come and claim to know the day. Walter Miller is one of them. Walter Miller first claimed that Jesus was going to come back in 1843. Then he claimed that Jesus was going to come back in, I believe, 1844. And when 1843 and 1844 fell through, he claimed that it was going to be 1845. By the time 1845 came around, many of the people that were following Walter, and it was big. If you can imagine how many people, Walter Miller was probably on par with many of the He was probably on par with many of the mega churches because he claimed to have figured it out. By the time 1845 ran around, people began walking away from it. And there were a group of people that kind of hung on to this. They were known as Millerites. We were talking about the writings of E.G. White. I'm going to be completely honest, E.G. White was one of these. E.G. White was a Millerite. Yeah, she was a young girl. She was a 17-year-old girl. And after the situation, what happened, E.G. White claimed to have divine premonition. She claimed to have divine visions that put it in, and I could get in trouble for this, but you know what? She claimed to have divine premonitions that claimed that it was in this time that Walter Merrick claimed Jesus was going to come back. This is when that train's coming. This is when Jesus actually went into the temple. Now, it is true that long black train is coming. Jesus is coming back. Whether you're post-millennial, whether you're all-millennial, whether you're pre-tribulational, the answer is essentially there is going to be a second coming. When that long black train will come is a matter of much debate. Yet even Peter in his gospel spoke of the last days. Repent and believe the gospel. The gospel is this. It means good news. The bad news is that we have all fallen short of the glory of God. Paul himself said, "For all have sinned. There is none worthy, no, not one." But Christ was the redemption for our sins. He paid the price to redeem mankind from his slavery to a sinful nature. Turn from that long black train and turn to the perfect Lamb of God. Coming up on Easter, the idea of it being Holy Week, this thing, there are many times, I've said before that I got to take this, I know nothing except Christ and Him crucified. There are many times that we want to look at we want to look at our relationship with Christ as we have to do something. I have to follow this tradition, or I have to follow this law, or I have to follow this. But it's much, much more than just that. It's more than that, but it's less than that. One of the things, and I've seen this from the Bible teacher on TikTok, he may be on YouTube too. Is the simplicity of it. It really is an idea that all I have to do is call out to Him. If I am in my heart, if I am truly wanting to change, and I truly understand the sacrifice that he made, and I call out to him, and I believe that he was who he said he was, and begin to trust in him, he will end up leading me on a path that will draw me to righteousness. Sooner or later. Paul said in the beginning of Philippians that he who has begun a good work in you will continue until the day of Christ Jesus. We just had Treasured and Loved in here, which was dealing with issues. And it is through trusting in Christ that they are beginning to overcome those issues. I can turn to my own problems that I have had this week, that I've had last week. Yet, I refuse to give up. I refuse to stop. As Paul said, I will fight the good fight. I will finish the race. I will keep the faith. Going on to an entirely different tangent here, I don't know if any of you have experienced or have seen the recent profession from Ye or Kanye. He says that, I went through a lot of stuff and I was praying, but I ain't never seen Jesus. I had to deal with all of it myself. What did you think Jesus was going to do, Kanye? Oh, he did worse than that. Kanye comes back and says, I had to rely on my own experience. I had to rely on what I was doing. And I didn't see Jesus in it. I didn't see God in it. So then he comes to the conclusion that I'm God. He didn't commit apostasy. He committed blasphemy. Just because he didn't see Jesus in it. What about James? Blanco put in James 21 or 2:19. It says, "You believe that God is one, you do well. Even the demons believe that and shudder." What about James chapter 1 verses 2, 3, and 4? Count it all joy, my brethren, when you face various trials. You know, the testing of your faith produces endurance. Let endurance have its way, so that you may be mature and complete, lacking in nothing. Kanye didn't believe in Christ. Kanye got caught up in the prosperity gospel, and he thought that Jesus was supposed to be his sky daddy, his genie. We've addressed that before. If you expect, I truly feel that Kanye was simply claiming Christ, thinking that it was going to gain him followers. Now the question is, how many people who were following Kanye came to Christ because Kanye did, and now because Kanye has slipped away, is he's going to cause that many people to go astray? That's my question. But I don't want to be the guy that's up here doing gossip. I mean, we've been hitting a lot of stuff today. There's a lot of people that's talking about this. It's not gossip we're talking. Okay, if you say so. I can pull up the video actually. Now this one's, here's one. I don't want to do that. I want to go. Forget who he that had the interview with. I would like to get to the original interview instead of somebody else doing the interview. Interview with Kanye. Recent interview with Big Boy. That's it. I don't know exactly when he says it.
Alrighty. Conversation.
Yeah.
Some things I agree with, some things I don't, whatever it may be, but you gotta have, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes
That moment right there, but then waking up
Right
and
here.
she gorgeous. I'm like, you know, I'd be like, tell Ty, like,
If there's language in this,
to say, this is where I am right now. I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
it is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's
Right
a lot
here,
of
right
stuff
here,
I went
actually.
through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience.
We'll wait until the ad break. I need to take a break anyway. Yeah, I just saw that. I need to take a quick break anyway. Use the bathroom, and I'll be right back. We'll actually watch this, and then I'll make some comments on it. Because this has been something that's actually been pretty big. This dropped about a week ago. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Blanco was actually wrong. His guess was Boston. The first Rotary Club was actually established in Chicago. So let's go this. This is a recent interview. Big Boy TV. This is Kanye. This is response. We'll hear what Big Boy says and how Kanye responds to that. And Kanye had a record charting album that was Jesus is King. So what does Kanye have to say about his new album?
A yesterday mode. You know, at one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, you know, Jesus is King. We hear this, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes you just want to say, man, not fuck it, but you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is King, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own.
See, now I'm going to stop right there. I prayed a lot. I went through a lot. I prayed a lot, and I didn't see Jesus show up. How are you expecting Jesus to show up? That's my question. Were you expecting him to come down? Were you expecting some grand manifestation? Were you expecting that every prayer was going to be answered exactly how you expected it to be answered? This in itself is a very small interpretation of who God is. I could probably say maybe I just smacked Mike. I could probably say maybe some of the same things that Ye is saying is, you know, I've been praying. I've been going through trials myself. I've been going through trouble myself. This entire stream has been nothing but a battle. We start out with technical issues. I've been dealing with financial issues for the past 2 weeks. I'm going through trials. I'm going through troubles. And I am relying on my own experience. I am relying on, you know, things that I've learned. But that doesn't mean that God hasn't showed up in many ways. Some ways that I've never even imagined. The thing is sometimes we end up dealing with problems, we end up dealing with frustrations, and we get into the mentality that God isn't there. But Jesus Christ, we can go right into Matthew 22. We can go into Mark 14. Jesus Christ says, in this world you will have many troubles and you will deal with tribulations. But take heart, for I have overcame the world. And I don't think that Kanye is really thinking about that. It makes me wonder, is during this entire time that you were saying Jesus is King, did you ever pick up your Bible, dude? Just curious. Did you read it? Because never once did he say that We wouldn't deal with trouble. We wouldn't deal with trial. See what else he says.
Own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, you know, people, Christians, we'll depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too.
That's exactly what it said in James. That's exactly what it said in James. Oh, man. You're going to make me pull this up. James chapter 2, verse 8. If you really fulfill the law according to Scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, you do well. But if you show partiality, you commit sin. Okay, that's not there. Right here, starting with verse 14. What does it profit, my brethren, if somebody says he hath faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, depart in peace, be warmed and filled, as Kanye was saying, is I'm going to pray for you, but does not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Thus also, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. If you believe there is one God, you do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. But do you know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? Kanye is specifically saying, is like, I'm going to pray for you, I'm going to pray for you, but you can do something physically. You know what? That's scriptural. That again goes, is Kanye, have you read this book? The book tells us, don't just simply say, I'm going to pray for you. Be there. Do something. What else does he say?
More than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground.
I'm not for sure what exactly he's talking about there. Gentrification. Talking about, I'm unfamiliar with that. But going with what he says is like, you're right. You're not going to pray. Yeah, we pray, but then, as James said, faith without works is dead. It's the idea that you pray and you do works. You want to see help in the abortion clinics, then pray, and then how about setting up an option next to it? Yeah, you got money. I'm just some poor white dude. I may be able to stream, but that's about all I got. I barely pay rent. I live in a home in a trailer. If you got money, you can do something. You're right. You ain't praying your way out of it. You got to do something. James already said that. You got faith without works is dead. This next part coming up, this is probably the worst part, though.
Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like, I mean, look at this. I know I'm not gonna third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say, your grandmother gonna lose her crib, and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray. Mm-hmm. So that's where, that's what my issue is. And look at where I'm at today.
Show up.
Show up, you know what I'm saying? I understand that that's a controversial.
No, we gotta speak.
But I dropped the con.
No, we got, and that's just real life too, bro.
Yeah.
The one thing that I wanted to.
Jeremiah speaking in prayer, my rosary broke, I don't know how, and it's disrupted my prayer life pretty severely, disrupted my spirituality in turn, and resulting in me praying less frequently and for shorter periods. It's not good, but I'll get a new one. I've personally never used a rosary. I can see how it could help, maybe. The idea of essentially, I could see it being as more like a fidget, that can help one concentrate. I can't really, I can't necessarily speak of I'm sure it wouldn't be helpful for everybody. It's helpful for me because of the way my brain works. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I can't necessarily claim a great prayer life myself. Okay? It's not like I'm sitting here on my knees for hours a day. It could probably help, in all honesty. I've heard stories of there were some people that I can't remember names, but I've heard stories of great preachers, and they would go in and they'd find a closet area where there was just a patch on the hardwood of knees, and somebody was sitting and praying for hours. I can't remember her name, but I've heard a story of there was one man that when he finally died, they actually investigated the body. They found out that his knees were destroyed because he spent so much time in prayer. And I will say that Kanye is hitting something truthfully, is like when we get down into the Oh, no, it's not a bad time, Solar. We're actually talking about the recent interview with between Kanye and Big Boy. Rosary plus my favorite devotional has caused me to pray for over an hour. I mean, I've had some good prayer. Like, when everything was going down, I've had some really good prayer. But, as I said, Kanye he's hitting something that we see a lot of in our society, is when we get into the nitty gritty, when we get to the downright, when we get to, rubber meets the road. There are times that we as professing Christians don't pray. And I'm guilty of that too. Like, I'm very, very guilty of that. And I would say that, many of the people here is, a lot of people can attest the exact same thing. When it gets down to the nitty gritty, when we get into that problem, we get into that frustration, we might have a period where we get upset and we might pray a bit, but it's how much are we praying? Going back into scripture, Paul states that we are to pray without ceasing. We are to be in a constant state of prayer, a constant state of worship. It's a lot easier said than done. A lot easier said than done. But then, when Kanye is speaking, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a deeper prayer, not simply thankful for the, dear Lord, thank you for this food. As I said, I'm guilty of that too. Like, I am guilty of that too. One of the things I've heard, this is just hearing in passing, I can't relate you to the source. So if Jesus can't get you to fail, or no, not Jesus. If Satan can't get you to fail, he'll keep you busy. A train. A train's coming. There's 9 trains this month. Another train is coming, that long black train. When is a matter of much debate. Yet even Peter spoke of the last days. Repent and believe in the gospel. Gospel is this. It means good news. We're talking about the idea of praying without ceasing. How we tend to fall short of that command. Jeremiah was talking about, I haven't been able to pray as much. I lost my rosary. I lost this little thing that helps me. I said, I've fallen short. Solar says that we're supposed to have a deep prayer, not the simply, thank you for this food, Lord. It goes back to the idea that we have all fallen short of the glory of God. Every single one of us. Christ was the only sinless being to ever walk the face of this earth. It is written, he who hath no sin, he who has absolutely no sin, was made sin for us. Kanye says, I'm going through problems. In the beginning of this, Kanye says, I'm going through problems. But I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. What about Paul? What about Paul with the thorn in his side? So I had this thorn in my side that kept on pestering me. I prayed to God to remove it. And I was answered, my grace is sufficient for you. Kanye has had, and we can go into some details on this, Kanye has had issues with pride. Kanye has not led the greatest life and the most devout life previous to coming to Christ. Maybe this was put as a test, Kanye, to see if you would actually hold out or if you would crumble. Maybe this was God putting you through that refining fire. And now the fact that you're backing up and you're coming away from this and you're saying, I didn't see Jesus. It's hard to strike a balance between that and the grandiloquence, which I sometimes fall into when praying. Like I'll start my doxology, O infinite Lord, all blessed in and of yourself, without parts and immune to passion, beneficent giver of all good things, redeemer of your elect. And such things sound great when the words are actually considered, but I often say them without the solemnity that is actually in the words. I'm often just saying many words, which we know to be bad. Those kind of words I'll often say. I don't say exactly that every time. I just made that up as something I might say. Solar says sometimes when you pray to have some things removed, God gives you tests. That's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, honestly, Jeremiah, when I pray, I don't. My prayers will start. Like, if it's bad, my prayers will start as, "Dear Lord, it's me again." That might be bad. Hey God, it's me again. Sorry for bothering you. If you're supposed to pray pretty prayers, then I'm doomed. Yeah, I think the big one is talk to God like a friend. That's probably the bad part. Is when Jesus introduces the Lord prayer, he says the big words, fancy words, and vain sayings. Sonic drop in the verse of the day through chapter verse is, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just and will forgive us our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. 1 John 1:9. Getting on rabbit trails again, and we're listening to what Kanye was saying. This entire stream is just one rabbit trail after another. I also need to figure out what's going on with my camera. It keeps on flashing. It was really weird. I don't know if this is going to be good YouTube content or not. Let's see what else Kanye says, because I think it's right around here that he ends up saying something that, I would say borders on blasphemy.
When we did get a chance to sit down, bro, I didn't want to do a thing where, we gotta hold back, and I don't even want this to feel like it's an interview. When we got together, bro, I said, man, I just want to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you have a conversation, you'll walk away and you'll say, okay, yeah, we hit some hard shit with that conversation.
Yeah.
Some things I agree with, some things
There is
I
some
don't,
language
whatever
in
it may
this.
be, but you got to have that conversation. And not only are we talking about music, but we're three men here with families. We're three men here with obligations, responsibilities, and that is some of the stuff that we do supersedes our entertainment.
Yeah, like I had a responsibility to all the people that were stealing from me.
Speak on it.
Like, I'm responsible.
Family members,
Yeah.
all that. Gotta let it deal with the pain and keep going.
Is music where you are right now, Ye? Do you enjoy music where you are right now?
Yeah, I love the art of it. Man, there's songs like Do It. I love the song, and I hadn't loved a song like that at that tempo since Back That Thing Up. So that's what made me think. I was like, man, I love Juvenile and Manny Fresh and Cash Money. Like, this is like, they used to
I don't know what he's
house
talking about.
music and hip hop music in the club, and like me and my guys would come in and make them play Cash Money. Whoa, Kimo Sabe, big ballin' is my hobby. Like, and like Juvenile, the Hot video, and just the 400 Degrees album, and just leaning into things. I believe the music came across because I leaned into things that I like when I liked what I liked and shit. Whether it was like looking at
We might just go ahead and end this. This is like a
or listening to Juvenile, or buying my first chain from Jacob, or wherever I got it. And I had a real chain, but then I had.
it starts talking. He says he's straight up that he's going like what he likes.
We gotta have a costume. You know what I'm saying?
I had to and I had to get the. This is just a banger. Like, you gotta say.
There is one point in time.
A lot of times when you go into the whole Jesus, devout, Paul level,
Okay.
off a donkey level religious, you have thoughts in your mind, and that you hiding them from yourself. And then you sitting there and the whole choir is fucking, y'all singing about not fucking.
Wow.
Niggas is stealing from you from the church, and it's like, man, like, I swear it's just, you can only see what's immediately in front of you. Like when they say Delulu, it's like we lean on a lot of delusional concepts. And then it's just actual.
Yeah, you can probably tear this one apart.
Big topic right now is are we gonna sell the album? And the concept that the streaming companies have made a deal with the people that were in ownership of our contract and decided to give us, a percentage of a penny. And people aren't getting paid properly, and you got people that are fans saying, oh, I don't have the money for this. I don't have that. We used to just getting it for free, so they've lowered the value of what we do and what we make. Like our music, part of the reason why it's so much better is, like, obviously you got super mega talents, but it costs a lot to make this album too. $20 for everything.
Right.
Then my album, like, this album costs millions of dollars to make, and no one could deny that was happening.
Like, not showing real numbers and the power.
Just limited.
I'm not for sure where
Turn
he
that boy
does.
down. That boy that went on stage and said Beyonce had the best video.
I thought it was right in
All
that area
Lights,
there.
Number 28. All Lights. It's a runaway.
The part where he talks about the idea of
Niggas in
God.
Paris was not a #1 record.
What do you think when people say that can't happen?
What can't
Like,
happen?
oh no, that's too big. That's a conspiracy. Like, people, like what you're saying right now. There's probably somebody that think, nah, that can't happen, but it can happen,
Well, it starts back here.
and it does happen,
And it
did happen.
My whole thing, it'd be in front of y'all face. That's what I like. When people drop this mental health shit, it makes it seem like, oh, it's like your family member that's seeing ghosts.
I think
Y'all
so.
can't see it.
Yeah.
What I love the most is
He's going on, and you guys are coming.
I have my issues with
Right
Jesus,
here is
but
where
I-
it starts.
if I went-
Like,
And can
So-
you put Ye back in the booth? And can Ye put you back in?
I tried to remove the cursing a bunch of times, and he was like,
this
"Oh, what do you
it
think?"
starts about
The
right
last one,
here.
like, what do you think we make this thing?
But you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now.
Right about here.
at one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, you know, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you.
This right here is like the specifically, this is where it starts
You
at.
just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now.
And I do apologize about
Space where
the
you're comfortable
the
enough
language. I need to.
say, this is where I am right now. I'm still a man of God. Jesus.
He's asking is like, am I still the man of God? Is Jesus is this is where I'm at? But he comes back. Kanye comes back and saying this.
But I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America.
And we were speaking about this. This goes with James chapter 2. The faith without works is dead.
So much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm going to pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying.
Is you don't expect him to. What do you mean, Solar? We were specifically talking is like the idea where Kanye says, like specifically says that I am God. I can't necessarily.
Okay, easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I don't know. It's.
why wouldn't that?
I'm probably just gonna end up pulling this down and not even post this. Right here. This is in somebody play. Right here. This is on TikTok. Another train.
Disappear. Like, cause that's a hell of a fight. Cause, you know, cause I'm God. And anyone disagree, I'm the God of me. You can't tell me
Right
who I
there.
am. I can't tell y'all. I could tell y'all. It's y'all job to listen. I'm the God of me. I don't know if I'm in heaven already and shit. I got number one. Paul, you know, I might be on like a fourth dimension version of the lifestyle. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I must have died in this accident. This must be heaven. I feel like, you know, there's people, tech guys and shit like Shervin or
Man.
Elon. Elon always says, whatever would be the funniest outcome is what you have. He's just thinking like, what is the most insane version of something
It's the same interview. You can see that he's got the same cloud on.
that should happen? My boy Shervin said, God or
Is it bad that I think he's just dumb? um, depends on how you want to interpret that. Really, like, it depends on how you want to interpret that. So it's gotta be probably, it's like toward the end.
Sitting down. People
Yeah, it's something.
about this.
People, they just came.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where it was. I don't know. It's we saw it as like that's Occam's razor. Yeah, it's that's pretty good interpretation. It's Occam's razor. It really to simplify this because this is going to be up on YouTube and I can't even find the portion and like this is not a very good edited video. This is live stream. This is me failing. This is this is basically I shouldn't even gotten into this because it's been nothing but problematic. I did specifically answer on his interpretation of the idea that God didn't show up. God wasn't necessarily like. How do you know that God was supposed to show up? Is the idea that God didn't show up is the fact that he didn't do what you wanted him to do, and that in itself is problematic. Like that for anybody that has been looking at you, your lack of faith is going to end up causing people to fall astray. And that's something that is specifically spoken about. It's not about what Christianity and following Christ is not about what Christ gives you. The idea that I'm going to follow Christ because what it's going to benefit me that's the definition of prosperity gospel 101. It goes directly against the passages where Jesus Christ has said that, you will face trials, you will face tribulation, you will have trouble. If I had that mentality, I would have. I could have stepped away a long time ago. And we were talking about the last days. We were talking about various trials, various struggles. If you can't deal with You were going through a divorce and a few other things. If we do get into the tribulation, what are you going to do then? Sonic's asking questions like, what are we doing here? It's this idea that I prayed and I didn't see my prayers answered. I prayed for this thing to happen. I didn't see this thing happen. Do you claim Christ? Because you want him to do something for you. Since we are in Easter, we're leading up to Easter. No, don't you realize that he's already done more than you're worthy of? The one question that non-believers tend to ask is, why does God let bad things happen to good people? What if that's not the question that we need to ask? This was just like literally this entire stream was just chatting stream where I was basically discussing stuff. Don't worry, I'm confused and I'm half confused on what's taking place, truthfully told. I haven't played a single game today. We're talking about recently the recent interview with Kanye where he says, honestly, I have trouble with Jesus. Because I was dealing with things and I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. If every Christian out there had that exact same issue, wouldn't be any Christians anymore. When John was on the Isle of Patmos in a penal colony, it's like I prayed as I was going through this and I didn't see Jesus show up. Kanye brings up this gibberish about Paul, John, donkey level faith. Is that the term that he used? Sounds like he went to a few church sermons, and that's about it. I mean, how deep did he dive? That's my question. Kanye West. This is who we're talking about. Kanye West. I'm trying not to be in this idea of gossip. I'm truly wanting to know what caused this guy to fail. Was it just because he had trouble? Was it just because he had tribulation? Because if I would have lost my faith just because I had tribulation, I would have lost it a long time ago. You guys know me. Like, you've been around. And I've been talking about how things have been frustrating over and over and over again. to answer this falling away that Kanye had. Taking it to that DePaul falling off a donkey level of faith, if that's the way he put it. Paul was the one that says, I will fight the good fight. I will finish the race. Going back to something that I said the other day, I won't give up. I will continue to press on toward the goal to find that crown, to finally get that crown that awaits me at the finish line. It's something that we've talked about on this channel a few times before. You know, you can consider, and Jeremiah is like, I've read this and I've read that. Are you at a point? If somebody looks at you and says, like, gun to your head, sword to your throat, whatever it may be, is deny the name of Christ or die, can you look at them in the eye and say, oh, sorry, I can't do that, and this is why? It's that is going to separate the men from the boys. That is what's going to separate the wheat from the tares. Have you gotten into the concept that we will be persecuted? And are you okay with that persecution? I'm asking anybody watching, now or later, if they've gotten through the live stream and they've watched it this far and they've gotten to this point. Has your faith gotten to the point, like the question is, has your faith gotten to that point that you can say, pardon my French, man, we've had a few languages issues in here. Pardon my French, but have you gotten to this point that you can literally say, come heck or high water, hell or high water, I will not ever deny Christ? Because that may be the hardest question that we have to answer. That could be the hardest question that any of us has to answer. That was really what I had to answer as I was dealing with everything that was in my head as I was coming through my trial and coming through my tribulation as I started the streaming journey. I was speaking about it, and then we jumped, like, where I was speaking about it because I saw it in various videos, and yeah, then I brought it up, and Jeremiah said something along the lines of, well, if it's publicly spoken, is publicly said, that it's not technically gossip. So I pulled up the video and we started looking at it. That's the best answer I can give you, Sonic. I've been all over the place today. Yep, Blanco hit it on the nose. It was a squirrel. Forgive me. I need to stop doing it. I need to actually like figure out, and I need to plan my content, and I need to be better. I need to quit coming out here or coming on here without a plan. Really? Think so, huh? It was a pretty fun stream so far. Yep, squirrel. um, if you've enjoyed it, I don't know. Eventually, like, one of the things that I was originally thinking about doing was, I wanted to do a charity stream. If you guys were here Thursday before last, the stream actually ended up getting cut off when Mama Dreams was here, because we were dealing with a legitimate tornado. Like, tornado dropped down in this area. There's a lot of people in some surrounding villages got hurt, and I was wanting to post, like, take up a donation, but I don't know who to get to. I've reached out to a few people and I haven't heard anything back. And today's been just me calling various people, trying to track down a bunch of different things. This stream's been like zero plan. I've just been talking. I feel like I'm kind of boring you guys, but Jeremiah says it's been a fun stream. Jeremiah is anyway off topic. Speak of me reading this and that. I was trying to get a copy of Peter Martyr's Vermagill's Oxford Treatise and Disposition of the Eucharist. We couldn't buy the digital copy without buying it in a package of all the books Martyr ever wrote. I'm not interested, though, in everything Martyr. It's just this right now. So I'm buying a physical copy of the book, even though I don't have many physical books. So, okay. What is up, Enigmatic? How's Enigmatic doing tonight? I didn't miss a chat on YouTube, did I? Okay. Easy Wife was in here earlier. Yeah, that's another thing, is my arm's still sore. Chest is still sore. Oh. I do have a question for you guys. One of the things that I've been thinking about, is so Fallout London is going to be released April 23rd, 2024. Oh, okay. Chat or ad break. Glass escaped, no chat, no catch to cheer. Supersonic's lurking, half aware in the stream, while Jeremiah book tales weave a curious dream. Martyr Virgil's works in a digital bind, opting for a physical copy, a rare find. Enigmatic waves with greetings so kind, in this chat where thoughts and prayers entwine. As always, man, what is up, man? How's men doing? And Jada coming in, too. I'm doing all right. We've been all over the place today. Yeah, we were talking about Yi and his recent statement about doesn't see God anymore. He's got troubles with Jesus, as he said. We've been talking about various issues, various problems, and yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, I've been in the middle of an ad break. Yeah, well, we'll see. Find out when the ad is over. Yeah, don't worry, you're not missing anything. All right, take your time. With this. Really, Vibes with Aquinas study music is gone. I don't know if we're back from the ad break or not, so it was really weird because I was in flat caps and it kept on saying that he was getting an ad break, and I never saw the ad break. Just literally, I never saw an ad. Yeah, he kept on saying, "Is we got an ad break coming up? So we got an ad break coming up. We're 5 minutes from the ad break." I never saw the ad, so I don't know. I was making a bunch of different calls yesterday. Actually, if you check in Discord, Jada, yesterday I actually met up with Blanco. Blanco wasn't too far from me, and it was like I actually got to meet up with Blanco, so that was cool. Let me jump in here. This is something else that this is about 14 minutes. Yeah. It's about 14 minutes. This is a final progress for Fallout London. It's a Fallout 4 mod that I've actually been thinking about. I will apologize in advance if there's a little bit of language in this. I'm not for sure if there is or not.
Greetings, it's me again. Letitia here with another Fallout London update video. Before you get all confused, this is the quarterly update to round off last year, 2023. We know 2024 is the big year for us, but stay tuned, you'll find out some news that you've not heard yet. Welcome back to Old Blighty. Now, let's keep things short and sweet this time, so I'll pass you straight on to Bonhart.
Bonhart here from the voice acting team, speaking on behalf of the PR team, because many of you commented on our last video, slightly confused by the huge numbers and what the word cell actually meant. Well, it's simple really. Our world is made up of cells. A cell refers to a level or location in Bethesda's game engine. As much as an interior level is a single cell, a world space is made up of a collection of cells. We are clarifying this to give context to this list in respect to exterior world spaces. So when we say we have 150 exterior cells, we mean something a bit like this. And considering this tiny little dot here is the player, you can really grasp how big a...
Man says I'm back. Just got home from urgent care. Got some intense lower back pain. Got some muscle relaxers and some sass from the doc. I'm sorry you're going through that, man. I feel you though. I've had chest pain actually. Last week I went out and I was dealing with moving vending machines, like soda vending machines, and I don't know if just the weight, if I might have like pulled something or stressed the pectoral muscles here. Like I wasn't used to use them. There was actually a situation where I was going to pull because it was on a dolly. Those things, like, those are heavy. This isn't like just a refrigerator. This is like, I'd say probably 3 refrigerators together. I got to pull it up on the dolly, and it got to the trailer, and it was actually a bump. When it hit that bump, I was thinking that I'd pull it up, but it didn't. It was like the momentum came down. It smacked my arms, like the forearms, and it hit me in the chest. So I'm wondering if I might be dealing with like a bruised sternum or something. I don't know. I don't want to complain about it too much. It's like it's been uncomfortable. Back pain though, as I understand back pain stinks. Yeah, I've dealt with that one before. So, prayers for men. Yeah, Lord, pray for quick recovery. We pray for healing. We pray for some kind of relief. Just be with her, brother. We thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Men's like, did you get checked? Well, it wasn't like I was officially working for anybody, so it's like I'm not going to go through and I'm not going to go through that. It honestly cost me more than what I made, so am I job stable? I'm still just doing DoorDash. Yeah, that's my answer. Is I'm just doing DoorDash. It's about as stable as it can be right now. As long as I don't end up getting a ton of bad reviews while doing DoorDash, I should be fine. So we're gonna call that a thing. And one of the benefits is the idea of running DoorDash. It is something that is flexible enough that I can still do what I need to do. I've been having some pretty good, I was having some pretty good luck the past couple of weeks. Last week wasn't as good, but that's because we didn't end up running it as much. I'm going to probably be going out, running DoorDash, Wednesday, do it Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, probably Friday after taco. Me and wife will be going out in the evening, and then we'll be doing it on Saturday. I do need to update schedule. Stream schedule is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday is going to be starting about 8 o'clock. Yes, we are doing the taco party on Good Friday, the 29th. That was Ukulele's idea. Because I was asking if one did it. Six, I think. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that one out, definitely. Yeah, I have to get back with Ukulele on that. Yeah. What is the taco party? So what it is every month, the members of Taco, that's me, Christian Ninja, Ukulele for Worship, Quiz King, Samus, is we get together. Chovy is currently on sabbatical, but every month we end up getting together on a different stream. It's been so far, I think Quiz hosted last month. Ukulele hosted the month before that. Or maybe it was Ukulele that hosted the month before that, last month. Anyway, but every month it's hosted on a different stream. This month it's going to be hosted on my stream. I am responsible for coming up with the devotional. I'm responsible with I'm working on the stream, the theme of it. Chovy is already on sabbatical. Well, I think that Chovy was going through some issues with his therapy, and if He was going through some issues. Originally, yes, I was working on the taco devotional. However, with the idea of the original devotional that I ended up writing, Ukulele said it was kind of long. It was more like a sermon or a Bible study. So I really pulled a lot of it out. I condensed it down to about 2 pages long. Really, it was just a collection of notes. I condensed that down to about 1 page. So. Ukulele said that it was short, or Ukulele said that it was long, so I condensed it. And I would say some of it is like, yeah, it's a little bit more than two paragraphs. I still need to work on my devotional, the devotional that I said that I was going to be releasing here soon. I haven't even gotten started on that yet. I said that I was going to do all this and
do it.
Yeah, I know. I said that I was going to do all this, and then it was just the past couple of weeks has been nothing but stress. There's been the mention of spiritual warfare, and it's like something's going to end up getting it. I don't want to do all this. I didn't want to do all. I just wanted to do a trailer. It's like, what is Fallout London? It's a year ago. There we go. This is going to be released by the end of April, and I want to actually... It's a Fallout mod, and I kind of want to play it.
They also make a cloud of deadly dust, which falls slowly to the ground. This is what is called fallout.
Would this be something that y'all would be interested in? And yes, Blanco, my message was what was in the cup. I mean, I mentioned something to your pastor. He might have like decided to get it from me. Bikes and bowler claps looks like a winner to me. I mean, it'd be really interesting because Fallout has never touched England. So it's like the entirety of Fallout lore in England is really only implied. There's never been a game that has ever been placed in the UK. So I think it would be really good. Now, see, originally this is coming 2023, but they ended up pushing it back. I think it would be. I think it would be really good. They're officially, the official release is going to be April 23rd. So if you go to Fallout London release date, the team Fallout London has revealed Fallout London will be released in April. More specifically, looking at April 23rd, 2024. I think that would be good. Is like, because I've done Fallout stuff before. Originally, I was going to do the Tale of Two Wastelands. I started doing that, and I never finished. We've still got Valheim to play. You got a bunch of different other games. I haven't been able to really finish much of anything. And the ADD is real. Haven't played a good Fallout since 3. Yeah, I'd be interested. Fallout 3 was big. I personally liked Fallout New Vegas a little bit more more than 3. I think that the story in New Vegas was a little bit more intricate. Thanks for the lurk, man. I appreciate it. I'm missing up on chat. Jeremiah is talking about utmost for his highest is good on the account of there being a devotional every day, whereas Tributes God doesn't. Asking what men's favorite devotional is. Men is like the Bible. Yeah. Attributes of God. King says sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, getting to plan a bit. I'm talking about the taco. Asking if you have read My Utmost for His Highest. Okay. I've yet to see I'm kind of out of it, I guess. I don't know. I feel like most of the stream I'm just kind of gone from place to place and I haven't done anything except ramble. What's something fun and exciting coming up for me? Going to see the new Ghostbusters tomorrow. Very nice. The only thing specifically that's coming up soon is me and Mama Dreams are going to be going to a Casting Crowns concert. I actually won tickets to see Casting Crowns in their the core code is you don't ramble. Oh, I ramble plenty. Trust me. I ramble plenty. Well, that's the big thing that's coming up for me. We're going to go seeing the Casting Crowns 20th anniversary tour. I was in the truck. It's favorites from Casting Crowns. I mean, obviously, praise you in the storm. There's actually a really good. So this is a testimonial. It's birthday today. It's Cora's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Cora. I'll go in here and I'll actually go. Happy birthday, Cora. Do we have the birthday thingy? I thought I had it at one point in time. Was it just happy birthday? Yeah, there we go. I'll just do that. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cora. Happy birthday to you. And many more. There we go. Oh, the woo. Yes, that one was interesting. The last time I played the Ric Flair woo, it copyrighted me. So I don't want to make her ears bleed, so we'll just do it. We'll do it once. Next time you got to remind me of the woo. I'm sure we've got another birthday coming up here soon. Let's see here. But yeah, King says what are some of my favorites? Praise You in This Storm. Voice of Truth is a really good one. That's actually one of the ones that was the song that I won the tickets from. It came up as like, what is this Casting Crown song? It's like, as soon as I heard it playing, it's like, that's the Voice of Truth. No question. That's the Voice of Truth. Back in like 2012, funny story, that actually comes from a lady from our old church. Started doing it with 200 people singing. It's always entertaining. Very nice. That could be interesting. That could be really interesting. Back what I was saying is like, funny story with the Voice of Truth. Back in 2012, when I was doing content creation, yeah, Who Am I was a good one. Does anybody hear her? Let's see. Who am I? Yeah, I can't remember it. I'd know it if I heard it. These smoke's probably pouring out my ears right now. But yeah, I recognize both of them. Kids always ask for nobody. And nobody. I think it's, yeah. I'm probably going to end up raiding out here soon. We need to get back into some games, and I've got a couple of different options. So I'm bouncing into about 6 different topics right now. First off is back to what I was saying about the Voice of Truth. Voice of Truth was interesting. I can make my chair disappear. Okay. Back in 2012, when I was doing content creation, I used a little bit of the Voice of Truth for my intro. I ended up getting copyright flagged, and I had to change my intro. That's one of the reasons why it specifically, like, as soon as I heard that, as I knew exactly what it was. So I've been a Casting Crowns fan for quite a while. Another thing, schedule will be changing. I need to post an updated schedule. Schedule is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to try to get Mama Dreams more involved in Thursdays, so that she'll actually be here Thursdays. And Wednesdays are going to be later. So Wednesday streams will probably be around 10, I'd say. That'll give me plenty of time, and I know it's late. I could try 9, but I get out of church probably right at 8. Yeah, sometimes 8:30. By the time we get home and get everything situated, I'd be running late. Thursdays are going to be earlier. The idea is Thursdays, my wife normally goes to bed at probably about 10 o'clock. So Thursdays are probably going to be 6 to 8, or maybe even earlier if she wants to do it. I apologize to you guys. I feel like I have been constantly filling out. I've just been constantly kind of in kind of an experimental phase. And that's not fair to you guys. I apologize for everything. I am probably I don't know. I wish I had more answers. I wish I wasn't constantly struggling. Sometimes I wish I had the faith that I could step out and just do this stuff full time. But I can't. You know, now, if I wanted to be completely honest, to deal with the debts that I'm dealing with, I'd probably need to add about about 10,000 more onto that number on the coffee call. Sonic said something about one of the things is being here to spurn people. That I am kind of I'm showing people that we can find peace in the middle of the storm. That we can find victory in the middle of the storm. You know, honestly, the me 2 years ago, before we started all this, would have probably been freaking out. Is the fact that everything has been happening it's going to be a constant storm. Me 2 years ago would have got paranoid about all of this. The me 4 years ago would have probably ended up kind of saying some of the same things that Kanye did. So I've been praying and praying, and I don't see Jesus showing up. Maybe that speaks to me. Maybe that speaks in the fact that, you know, I'm actually growing somewhere. I'm actually growing in some aspects. I'm actually getting better. I don't know if there's this has been all just chatting, and I don't think there's going to be any shorts coming out of this because I didn't record any of it. I've seen people come into this community that have been sticking around. King Mexico, Blanco, Sonic, EG wife. Even though I did notice EG wife left the Discord. I hope that I didn't frustrate her. I hope I didn't make her angry. I hope I didn't say something wrong. I've seen praises. Little Blanco pointed out, treasured and loved. That is a praise report. I don't know if Min's still lurking, or if he can actually hear me, but that's a praise report, man. I've seen how God has used this. I keep on saying that God's gonna do something. God's gonna make something out of this. God's gonna somehow make something out of me. I have no idea how it's going to work. I don't have the first clue. Somehow, some way, God will make a way. I hope eventually it's going to get to a point that I hope that eventually it's going to get to a point that I don't feel like I'm just up here rambling. I hope eventually it's going to get to a point that I don't feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe need to start working on making some YouTube videos. Wonko said something about the idea of anime. I don't know if that could be something I could do on stream or if it'd end up getting cut. Making our anime reaction videos could be something. I don't know. I also don't even know what my content needs to be. I really don't. I don't see anybody on YouTube. I don't see... I don't know. I'm just... I'm gonna keep on showing up at least. How about that? And I'm gonna quit. Because I feel like I'm being the Debbie Downer, so I know something's going to happen. Eventually something is going to happen. I don't know when, but eventually something is going to happen. And I'm going to keep on going until it does. So it is going on midnight. I haven't played a single game tonight. Tomorrow we'll probably jump into some Valheim. We were dealing with trolls, so we'll call one, I don't know, maybe Troll Tuesday or something like that. I don't know. I still got to deal with the taco stuff and get everything planned on it. I don't know if I need to make the graphic or not. That's not your guys' problem. I'm gonna find somebody to raid out to, see if we have anybody. You know, here's one. Papu the Hutt has been in our streams multiple times. Audio is not great. Like I'm not hearing very good audio at all. But Papu's come in and Papu has dropped bits and subs in our stream. He's been saying that he's been having some issues, and like one of his only forms of income has been stream here lately. Papu was actually talking about helping us set up a Valheim server so we can have a Valheim server for the community as well. So, why don't we go and raid Papu? If anybody has a problem with that, please speak so now. If not, I will take your silence for agreement. Alright. Until next time. I will say that this has actually been a really good stream. We've got a... Did it really, like, unfollow and then follow again? Oh. I'm telling you, it's like the streamer formerly known as Phoenix is like I need to actually go talk to him. So we got a Tanuki Toad actually followed about 13 hours ago. Also, this stream we had a Zakalak Gaming and an Austri Woat JTI. Couple of new follows there. Thank you so much for those. If you guys are still hanging out. No subs, no bits, but you know, it's alright. It is what it is. It has been an awesome stream. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Until next time, this is Don Dream saying God bless. Over and out.
Big Fire Lizard is now following.